So if we do break the resistance here, then we could be in for a pretty severe breakout, a pretty, powerful move towards the upside. And the target in a falling wedge is the top of the wedge. So the very, very top would, of course, be the all-time high. So this means that our target here could be $70,000.
Hey, welcome back everybody to Altcoin Daily. Smash up that like button, destroy that like button, because today I'm joined with Carl, the man, the legend, the moon, as seen on Fox Business, Forbes 30 under 30. According to his Twitter, it says he's invested in 400 crypto startups. Carl, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very, very well. And right now I can see two moons, actually, one behind you and one right here.
That's right. And this week, Austin and I are in Dubai for the Future Blockchain Summit. I'm sure you and me, we're hanging out right now, but this will be released during that. I thought no better way to christen the Dubai trip than with one of the crypto Dubai legends himself. 400 startups, is that true? 400 crypto startups?
Now it's actually more than that, but yes, 400 crypto startups. And I know that I'm crazy. I think I am the biggest angel investor in crypto because I still haven't heard anyone come even close to that amount of startups. I heard someone did 200, someone 150, but 400, I think I hold the record there.
Definitely. Well, let's jump right into it. But before we go to the charts, I just want to know your why. Why do you believe in Bitcoin? Why do you choose to talk about crypto? What's your why?
It's in a way very political. Like for me, it's important that money should be the people's money. It shouldn't be the government's money. And it has been the government's money for far too long now. And when you put the power of money into the hands of a centralized authority like the government, then you give all your power away, especially when we're talking about money, because money is one of the most important things in society. I mean, look at all the transactions we do on a daily basis. They're like every single transaction in the world, 50% of the transaction is the money, right? You're buying things and we exchange things. And if you control the money, you're controlling every single transaction. You control half of all the transactions. And the government has that power. The banks, they have that power. Banks and governments, they work together in some kind of cartel there. So it's very important for me to decentralize money. And Bitcoin is a decentralized money. It is the best form of money that humans have ever seen before. It is the most decentralized money. It is also the most secure form of money. It's the most transferable form of money. It is the most divisible form of money. And it's also the most safest to store because you can store it actually in your brain or on a hardware wallet that you can keep at your safe. So there are so many attributes of Bitcoin that make it superior to any other form of money that humans have ever seen before. And that's why I hold my vast majority of my net worth is still in Bitcoin.
Well, a lot of people in our audience, maybe they have one Bitcoin. A lot of people are trying to work up to that proverbial owning one whole Bitcoin. Not that it matters, but it's still a cool milestone. So let's jump to the charts, Carl. I want to know where you see Bitcoin heading over the next few months.
Well, I'm going to keep it very, very simple because I love to keep it simple. And usually the more simple it is, the more powerful it is. Less is more when it comes to charts. So here you can see a so-called falling wedge. And in very simple terms, when the Bitcoin price, or any price for that matter, falls like this and forms a wedge, this is called a falling wedge. And this is actually a bullish pattern. This means that the chance of us breaking the resistance here is higher than for us to break the support. So it is actually a positive thing, right? So if we do break the resistance here, then we could be in for a pretty severe breakout, a pretty, powerful move towards the upside. So this is on the bigger time frame. This is on the weekly chart. So this would be a weekly breakout, which means that I wouldn't expect this to happen tomorrow, the next day, but within the next 3, 4, 5 weeks, I really do believe that we could see this move happen. And I'm going to talk about target very, very soon, in just a couple of minutes. But first, I want to show you also the RSI, the Relative Strength Index. And the interesting thing about the Relative Strength Index is that we are also seeing a falling wedge here on the weekly time frame. Very beautiful. Look at this. Very beautiful. And one thing that I've learned from years of charting is that when you see the price and the RSI form the same pattern like this, when we do see a potential breakout, usually from my own experience, I've seen how the move is just so much more powerful. So essentially, let's make it very, very simple. If we break the resistance, what we could see is a big move like this, and the target in a falling wedge is the top of the wedge. So the very, very top would, of course, be the all-time high. So this means that our target here could be $70,000. You could also make the case that this is the top of a smaller falling wedge. And if you want to stay more conservative, then you could say that let's call it approximately $48,000 is the target out of this falling wedge. But very important is to wait for the breakout. So never ever trade before a confirmed breakout. So I'm not telling anyone to jump into an exchange and trade right now. No, we wait for the breakout. And when the breakout has happened, when it is confirmed, then we could go all in. And I'm going to go all in. And, that's what I do on my channel. I trade Bitcoin. I talk about the chart. And if I do any big moves, I let people know. But I'm always very cautious with when going in, because people that go in prematurely often get wrecked. For example, if you buy now, well, there is still a possibility that we go down like this in this wedge before we go up. So a dump before a pump is very possible, where Bitcoin goes down to $11,000, $12,000. Now, I don't think that's going to happen, but it can. And why take the chance? It's better to just wait for the breakout and jump in right there.
Now, I just have two more questions for you, Carl. I'm going to ask you, one, your thoughts on Ethereum, and then the final question will be which altcoins you like. But thoughts on Ethereum?
Well, if we look at the chart, let's take a look at Ethereum against Bitcoin, because I think that's more interesting, because we all hold Bitcoin and Ethereum, and people are also always wondering, should they, go back to Ethereum, back to Bitcoin? Generally, I am actually very bullish on Ethereum. I have a very large stack of Ethereum, just for transparency here. This is the weekly chart, and you can see that Ethereum is almost forming this big cup here. And in my opinion, on the bigger time frame, Ethereum seems to be quite strong here against Bitcoin, even though we're seeing a little bit of consolidation in the past few months. But I am very heavy in Ethereum right now. I actually sold millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin just a few weeks ago to go into Ethereum. And I guess that's kind of my answer. I'm bullish on Ethereum, and I think that after the merge now, there are fundamentally also reasons to expect the price to have more buying pressure from below. So I don't see any reason to be bearish on Ethereum unless Bitcoin breaks down. If Bitcoin goes to 11K, then of course Ethereum will go down, just like everything else. Ethereum or Bitcoin has gone from 70K down to 20K. The whole altcoin market has absolutely collapsed. Every single altcoin out there is down 90, 95, even 99%. Like, we've seen really dramatic moves in the altcoin market, and Bitcoin is the king. Bitcoin decides whether we go up or down in crypto. That's just how it is. And it's always been like that. It's not going to change now.
Excellent. You want to take us off screen share?
I will do that.
All right, Carl. One of my final questions to you is, besides Bitcoin, besides Ethereum, besides Kasta, and I do want to stick in the top 100, top 50, what 3 to 5 altcoins are you really liking?
Ooh. If I'm gonna be very honest with you, I have tried to make my portfolio more condensed. So in a bull market, I have exposure to a lot of altcoins. But if a bear market seems to be coming, which I thought approximately like 1 year ago, I started to liquidate many of my positions and went back into Bitcoin. So my biggest holding, except from Bitcoin, is Ethereum right now. If I were to go down the list in my portfolio, I can't say that there are any like really significant holdings. Obviously, I could talk about my own projects, but that's not really what people want to hear, right? Because they want to hear something a little more unbiased. But I would have to choose, honestly, if I were to buy right now and hold for the bear market, then I would stick to Bitcoin and Ethereum. Even though that's a very boring answer, I'm very sorry for that. But like, those are my significantly two biggest holdings, except from my own companies, obviously. But yeah, I have to stay boring there. I mean, I invested in 400 startups. I have hundreds of coins, but to name two, three, I don't think I can do that.
Carl, I appreciate you keeping us real. You could have easily said Cardano and a million people would have liked it, but keeping it real.
I do have a little bit of Cardano, but I can't say that that's something I would suggest people to buy. Just like I also hold a little bit of XRP, but I'm not gonna suggest people to buy that either. The only thing I'm really comfortable telling people is buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, hold on to it for dear life, and don't sell even if it's a bear market.
Thank you so much, Carl. Links to Carl's stuff down below. Check him out. Go follow him. I do. Carl, final thoughts for the Altcoin Daily audience.
I love your channel. You guys are doing a great job. I think that your community seems amazing as well. And you guys are grinding in the bear markets, just like me, just like some other YouTubers. And I think it's amazing that we stick around even though the prices are not doing very well. And we will be greatly rewarded. All of us, guys, everyone watching, if you're still here right now, in the next bull market, you will be greatly rewarded. I promise you.